Hey everyone, it's quarantine time, and we know how hard it is to be stuck at home all the time. And it is even harder to be stuck at home with kids who you're having to constantly teach and tell them to pay attention and focus and to do their schoolwork. This video is going to help with that. So stay tuned, and we will see if we can solve that problem and help make it a little bit easier on you. I am Mr. Klein, and thanks for tuning in to this video. Okay, so it's a crazy time that we're in right now. A lot of us are at home. If we have kids, they are at home with us constantly, and we are trying to have them get their work done, and it can be pretty difficult at times to get them to focus and pay attention on their work. So this video hopefully will help you out. I'm going to go over about 5 or 6 things that hopefully, if you can implement them at home, will just make your day at home just a little bit easier and get your kids a little bit more focused on their work. All right, so let's get straight to it. First thing to do is simple. Remove all distractions. Now, we probably know that, but we need to remove all distractions. And there are some ways you can make that a little bit easier. You can make little dividers. Almost like a little mini cubicle where you take books or folders and kind of like make a little cubicle that they can sit in and kind of block out the world around them as they're working. Have them put headphones on. Headphones don't have to be playing music, just headphones to kind of block the world out as well. Have them choose their spot. Make a specific spot that they have for doing their work in, whether that be like the kitchen table. Might be a little bit difficult to focus there, but you have to work with what you have. So if the kitchen table works best, go for the kitchen table. If there's another spot, take that as well. The spot that's furthest away from siblings, distractions, all that type of stuff. Remove all phones and tablets, electronics, anything like that. You just want to get them as far away from distractions as you possibly can. Second quick tip I have for you is to use a timer. All sorts of timers you can use. You can actually use one like an hourglass type thing, or there's a lot of other ones out there, but most of us have access to one on our phones. You can just set a timer where they work for maybe, you give them, say, 20 minutes to get the work done, or if maybe you work up to 20 minutes. Maybe you start with 10. Maybe you start with 5. You set that timer. It goes off. They come get you. You check their work. Short spurts sometimes can help kids stay focused for a little bit longer than when you just say, hey, get your work done. So try a timer out and see if that doesn't help improve them getting their work done. All right, another thing you can do to help kids focus is to take active rest breaks. What an active rest break is a break where they're actually moving, where they are doing something. With our youngest kid, he is a kid who uses active rest breaks a lot, and they work really well for him. And so one thing you can do, and this works well for younger kids, is frog hops. Like he does a lot of his work at the dining room table, and so we will have him do frog hops around the table, like about 3 laps around the table where he just hops like a frog. Another thing we do is we will take a laundry basket and put some light, like 5-pound dumbbells, put them in there, and he scoots those around almost like a car, and he does like 3 laps around the dining room table. There's other things you can do, like if it's nice out, you can go outside for a little bit. If you have an older kid, you can take a walk. I wouldn't do things like go spend 30 minutes on your phone or go play Xbox. You want to do things that are going to kind of calm them down and not stimulate the brain. You want to like de-stimulate it. Puzzles is a good one. You can do puzzles. Have them work on a puzzle for a little bit. Coloring. If you have a kid who likes to color, they can color for a little while. Just Dance and Go Noodle. Those are kind of like technology type things they can do, but there's a lot of movement involved with them. And you can also have them do heavy work. If you're not familiar with heavy work is just basically manual labor, kind of. Just have them like move things around. Just have them rearrange your entire living room and then put it back. anything where they're just kind of moving things around, like carrying laundry up or down the stairs or putting clothes away, anything where there's movement involved. And honestly, the heavier the better a lot of times. Helps just calm things down a little bit. And then you can do like that active rest break for maybe 15, 20 minutes. Totally depends on your kid. And then after that, have them get back into work. And I think if you do that, you'll see that they're much calmer, and it'll help them just be able to refocus on what they were doing. Another thing is to set a goal. Now, and set a goal works better if you're just doing like homework. But like now with the whole coronavirus and quarantine, the goals are a little bit harder. But with homework and stuff, you can set a goal for like, all right, your goal is honor roll. This is a step towards you getting honor roll. Or your goal is to get an A on Friday's test. Doing this homework is a step towards that. Now with the quarantine, setting the goals is a little bit different. I mean, maybe you just set a goal that's specific on the task that they're doing. Like you might be like, all right, we are going to do 5 of these problems in 10 minutes. And you can use that timer that we talked about in the previous step to kind of help measure that goal. They have like 10 minutes to get the 5 problems done. So you set little goals and spurts, and you can even put rewards on those as well. Just cheap rewards. You earn 10 minutes of Xbox time if you're able to get 10 problems done, or you can earn 20 minutes of Xbox time if you are able to work for 20 minutes without getting up or being caught unfocused. So setting little goals can kind of help your kids just be motivated a little bit more to get that work done. Another thing to try, and this is only for certain assignments, but try music. I wouldn't try music for things like math and reading, but for creative assignments, like creative writing, or if you have like an art type lesson, music can be a good thing for getting those creative juices flowing. I wouldn't recommend it though during math and reading, because research sometimes there's this thing called the Mozart effect, which actually has been proven that it doesn't quite work in math and reading time. And classical music is always a good thing to do. And on YouTube, there's all sorts of classical music that's been infused with rap or pop or rock or all sorts of different music that can just be a good way to focus and relax when you're doing a creative type activity. All right, another way, and this is something that we're actually using here in our house, is to create a schedule. Every kid is different, and this schedule system works really well for our youngest. But this is the actual schedule that we have that my wife has made. And you can see there's quite a bit on it. You don't have to make yours quite this in depth. But we just have a schedule that when he wakes up, he knows at this time I'm doing breakfast, at this time I'm going to do some chores, at this time I'm doing schoolwork on the computer, and then I'm going to switch to schoolwork on paper. Kids do well in structured environments, and that can be very difficult at home. Creating a schedule like this makes it feel a little bit more like real school. And you can kind of take this schedule, to-do list, whatever you want to call it, and infuse it with some of the other tips I've given, like with the timer or building in little rewards or setting goals. So you can use something like this, or you can also use just like a to-do list, more specific to-do list. Like this one is built for chores, but you could do one for math. You could have just the different tasks or assignments that they have for the day, and you could have them check it off as they complete them. And then if you want to like do rewards, if they hit the goal of however many you set, that can be something as well that kind of helps them stay on task and stay focused with their work, because we all know that it's tricky. And I think we've kind of all grown an appreciation for our teachers and the work they do, as we're seeing what it's like trying to get kids to pay attention, especially when they're at home. And kids always do well or do better in a structured environment. So trying to make our home environment as structured as possible is a good thing to try and do. All right, so that's pretty much it. We did like 5 or 6 things. Those were just quick things that I think you can do to kind of just help get your kids on task and focus on their e-learning or their homework, and just kind of help us all just get through this time. That's, definitely nothing like we've ever experienced before. And I think the less stressed we all are, both parents and kids, I think the better it is for everybody. So hopefully you liked the video. If you've got any tips or tricks that you're doing at your home, drop them down in the comments. We'd love to see those, and share them so that others can see them as well. All right, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe, and take care.